Hey, this is Randolph here. We're speaking with Fernando Mello. He's the online producer for BioWare, and we're chatting about Dragon Age Origins Awakening. Fernando, first of all, can you briefly tell us what this game is all about?
Yeah, so Awakening is a way for you to continue your story in Dragon Age. It's set about 6 months after the events of Origins, and you have an opportunity where you, as the hero of Origins, can continue your character or start from scratch.
Okay, so this is essentially going to be a retail expansion pack. How many hours are you planning to add to the Dragon Age experience?
It's a really good question. Actually, the first thing that tended to come out of Origins that we realized is that hours was a really poor way to try to communicate just how much stuff was actually in these games. Awakening is cut from the same cloth. You know, in Origins we saw people that finished the game in like 30 hours. Some people were finishing in over 100, 120 hours. And Awakening very much so the same way with the number of options that you have, party members that you bring with you, what side quests you're taking. Your mileage is going to vary quite a bit. I think what would be fair to say is that just like with Origins, nobody's going to be disappointed with exactly how much stuff is actually in here. It's as big as most full games these days.
Now, didn't we get rid of the Blight in the last game? What's happening in this one? What's the storyline?
Well, there is still that. You mean the blood covering that you get? There is still a lot of that, and really, it really comes down to it's a very dirty world. It's a very dangerous world. There's a lot of combat, and combat is ugly. And it was something that we wanted to really evoke that kind of feeling that these things are messy encounters when you get into sort of war situations.
What about in terms of, I guess, the characters from the original game? Are we going to see a lot of them popping up in Awakenings as well?
So you have one returning character as your party member, but you do have a lot of other cameo roles. Depending on some of the choices that you made in Origins, you'll encounter a couple of other party members and you'll absolutely remember the relationship that you had with them at the time.
Now, you mentioned you can either continue as your old character or start a new one. What's the difference going to be in terms of gameplay?
So the really neat thing is that Awakening absolutely caters to both stories, both sides of the coin. When you're continuing your character from Origins, you are the hero of Origins. You can import your character at any time. You don't have to have finished Origins, but time has advanced 6 months beyond the events of Origins, and at that point you are considered to have been the one that ended the Blight. You are the hero. Everybody recognizes you. Everybody loves you for it. So everybody responds in a certain way. When you start as a brand new character, you are a warden. They respect you for that, but you are an outsider. You're a new character. You're coming from a neighboring country. There's a very a war past there between the two nations, so people are very mistrusting of you coming from that region, and it gives you a completely different perspective, completely different options, and different situations you'll have to deal with because of that.
What about in terms of new abilities and new spells? What can we expect?
So with every great expansion, this is sort of a throwback to old school days. It's built on top of Origins, and we've increased the level cap, and along with that, we've added tons of new things for you to do. We have over 50 new spells and abilities. There's new specializations. There's 2 specializations per class. Each of the base classes also has additional spells and abilities. We have new skills like rune crafting. You can actually create your own runes now and apply them to armors, not just weapons. And there's also lots of other stuff. There's something like over 500 new items. There's new tiers of items. So very quickly, once you get in, if you import your character from Origins, you're probably going to want to shed some of those items for the really cool stuff that's going to be coming up in Awakening.
Thanks for that, Fernando. Tell us when we can expect Awakening and on what platforms we can expect it on.
Awakening will be out on March 16th, and it'll be available on PC, 360, and PS3. And on the consoles, it'll be available as DLC as well.
Thanks for that, Fernando. Now, if you want to know more about Dragon Age Origins Awakening, head back to the site. It's gdc.gamespot.com.